Welcome to the Gorilla 7 video series. In this lesson, we're going to learn about fringes. What is a fringe? Fringes are percentages or flat fees that are additional benefits attached to any detail line item, usually a cast or crew member. I am going to go to the detail level of a cast account. The first row shows a rate for this cast member of $15,000. Let's add a fringe to this line item. Select the fringe field for that row. When you first enter the fringes screen, you will not see any fringes, so we need to create one. Select the Setup button. Now, before I create a fringe, let me explain the two types of fringes. The fringe benefit by percentage is simply a percentage. You enter that percentage, and that percent is then multiplied by the sum of that detail line item and then added to the total of the line. A fringe benefit by flat rate is a flat rate that will be added to the subtotal by unit. This is a little more complicated and will be explained last. To create your first fringe, click on the Add New Fringe Percentage button. Enter a name for the fringe. I'm going to enter SAG, a description if desired, and then the percent. To make it simple for this tutorial, I'm going to enter a straight 10% fringe. I will leave the cutoff empty for now and will close the window. Here, you see the SAG fringe in the list. However, it is not attached to any detail line item in the budget. In order to do that, select the checkbox next to the fringe. The total for the detail line item will appear here. And if you close the fringe window, you will see the fringe amount here. And notice the difference between the rate and the subtotal fields. The subtotal includes the attached fringe. If you change the rate, for instance, to $20,000, the fringe also changes to accommodate the new rate. This column here shows you the percentage in decimals for all the fringes for the line item. You can attach multiple fringes to a line item. Let's create a new detail line item first, and also create another fringe percentage. I'll call it H&B for health and benefits, and enter 7%, and attach that fringe and the SAG fringe to this detail line item. And notice the fringe now totals both fringe percentages. If you want to print out a report of all your fringes for this budget, select the Quick Preview Print button and select the Fringe button. Select the Fringe by Percentage option for a list of all fringes and their totals. Select the Fringes by Detail line item, and you can print a detailed report, including fringes attached. Next, let me explain how cutoffs work. The total amount of the fringe cannot exceed the percentage of the cutoff. For example, going back to the fringe setup screen, if I enter 10,000 in the cutoff field for the SAG fringe, this means that 10% of 10,000 is 1,000. So the fringe for this line cannot exceed that amount and changes from 1,500 to 1,000. Okay, so now let's go over the second type of fringe, a fringe benefit by flat rate. To better explain a flat rate fringe, click on the Info button on the fringe screen. A flat rate fringe is added to the subtotal by unit. In other words, flat rate fringes are calculated based on the hourly equivalent of the unit. Okay, select the Flat Rate Fringe tab. I'm going to create a flat rate fringe called Actor Bonus and enter a rate of 100 and D for days for the unit. Now, go back to the detail level and select the fringe fields for the detail line item, and select the actor bonus fringe. Notice that 0 is entered for the fringe fields. Now, why is that? This is because we did not specify a unit for this row. If you don't specify a unit, the flat rate fringe will not calculate. So, if I enter H here to show hours, notice the value 8 appears here in the fringe field. You might have to select the field to refresh the screen. So, why is 8 the fringe amount? Select the Units button on the toolbar. We defined the actor bonus fringe as a per-day fringe. The unit table defines a day as 12 hours. An hour is defined as 1. Therefore, if you divide 100 by 12, the result is 8.3, which rounds to 8. If you change the amount to 2 hours, notice that the fringe amount changes to 17. Next, let's match the units field in the row to the defined unit for the actor bonus, which is day. I'm going to change the amount from 2 back to 1 and enter D for days in the units field. And as you can see, the fringe amount changes to 100 per day. Now I will explain the cutoff. Going back to the fringe benefits by flat rate, in the cutoff column, enter 1 for 1 day. Notice here, next to the cutoff column, in the in hours column, it displays 12 for 12 hours. Go back to the detail screen. Notice that nothing has changed. That's because my cutoff is 1 day. If you enter 2 in the amount field, notice that the $100 fringe does not change. Again, that is because the cutoff is 1 day, or 12 hours. You can play around with the amount and the units fields on the detail row to see how it affects the flat rate fringe. For example, if I change the amount to 9 and the unit to hours, notice that the fringe amount changes to 75. This is calculated at 100 divided by 12 for a 12-hour day, then multiplied by 9. The cutoff here is still 12 hours, which still has not been reached. Changing the amount to 13 exceeds the 12-hour cutoff, so the fringe will be calculated at 100. That's a wrap. Have a great shoot.